What Once Was Mine, Chapter 52. The Battle for Castle Bathory. The Mishmash army charged forward and attacked. Some were organized enough to make a concerted effort to push on the gates. Mostly, however, it was individual men attacking individual guards. With a strange look on his face, Captain Tresberg got back on his horse. "What are you doing?" Gina hissed. "The enemy of my enemy is my friend. For a while," he answered, adjusting his reins and stirrups, straightening up in the saddle. "I can help them until my own men come." "Now, who's not thinking logically?" Gina demanded. "What will your men do when they arrive? Won't they need a leader?" "They'll see me," he said distractedly, and rode into the fray, a steely grin on his face. "He's gone berserker," Gina murmured. She didn't know anything about formal military battles. She didn't even have access to the sorts of books Rapunzel grew up with. To her it all looked like chaos. Horses were screaming. The constant clang of swords was neither merry nor legendary. It was muted and frenetic. Men grunted and hissed like animals. Lords called orders to men, but their words got lost in the scramble. Swords rose and fell methodically, hacking and slashing, creating ugly results. Two men were scuffing like crabs in the dirt, trying to throttle each other, but impeded by helms, armor, boots, jackets. More than anything else, it all seemed like a children's scrum, with real weapons and animals instead of sticks. Angry, violent, and with no real direction. On the good guys' team, that is. The bad guys were much more together. When the large gates were finally forced open, the ragtag army of lords cheered, only to break off when they realized the truth of the situation. Bathory had all the resources of a castle, all the men and supplies of a small town. 12 soldiers, armored and heavily armed, marched out from the bailey as one. They had a deadly pause, and then the two sides clashed. Even with the addition of Tresberg, it didn't look good. Whether the castle had stood for 20 years or 1,000 made no difference. In the end, it was still a stone castle, filled of trained and weaponed men. Gina considered her orders, such as they were, to wait until the royal family arrived, then slip in during the chaos and rescue Flynn. Did this unexpected battle change things? There was indeed chaos, but it hadn't made it all the way into the castle yet. Could she slip in anyway? Rapunzel would be rescued by her kingdom's soldiers, if and when they come. How long would that be? If those fighting now were the villains who were all after her, and they got to her first... "Hey, you!" Gina spun around. One of the good guys had seen her. Who knew what he thought? Maybe he assumed she was part of Bathory's force sneaking into the back to attack from behind. Maybe he thought she was a messenger from the castle trying to send for help. Maybe he was too caught up in the bloodlust to care anymore. Whatever else, she presented an obviously less typical target than Bathory's armored men. He raised his sword and ran at her. What could she possibly do to help anything right now? Or anyone? Rapunzel, Flynn, Tresberg, even herself. "Gina, you're a great adventurer. You don't need anyone else's permission to speak up, or approval. Just say what you think, and do it." The words came echoing back to her. So she grabbed her horse, leapt on, and galloped away from the battle and castle as fast as she could.